Have you ever wondered if something as small as the kind of oil you cook with could quietly be damaging your brain? Now imagine this. Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke. That's over 795,000 people a year. It's not always genetics. It's not always aging. Sometimes it's simply what's on our plate, day after day. You see, when it comes to brain health, we often think about crossword puzzles or memory games. But the truth is, some of the most powerful protectors or destroyers of your brain are hiding right there in your kitchen pantry. In this video, we're going to gently uncover 5 harmful fats that can put your brain at serious risk, and 5 healing ones that could help you stay sharp, steady, and strong well into your golden years. But I won't give it all away just yet. Stick with me, because some of these may surprise you. Even the healthy ones you thought were safe might not be so friendly after all. And before we dive in, let me ask you something. If you're someone who's always curious to learn how everyday foods affect your health, just drop a quick 1 in the comments. If you usually just eat whatever's convenient, drop a 0. Either way, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more helpful videos like this from Health 365. All right, let's start with one type of fat that might be lurking in your favorite snacks and why it's quietly raising your risk for stroke. Trans fats. You'll often find them in things like deep-fried chicken, crispy fries from your favorite fast food joint, or even those soft, fluffy pastries sitting on the grocery shelf that never seem to go stale. Trans fats are made when manufacturers turn liquid oils into solid fats, like shortening or margarine, through a process called hydrogenation. Sounds science-y, right? But here's the scary part. They don't just sit harmlessly in our bodies. These fats trigger inflammation in our blood vessels, damage the lining of our arteries, and raise bad cholesterol levels. That's like setting the stage for a stroke. One bite at a time. A study published in the journal Neurology tracked over 1,600 older adults and found that those with higher levels of trans fats in their blood had up to a 50% higher risk of developing dementia. That's not just memory loss. It's your brain's wiring slowly fraying over time. Think about it. Every time you eat that golden brown fried food that's been cooked in reused oil, you could be feeding the fire of inflammation in your brain and blood vessels. So, what can you do? Start by checking food labels for partially hydrogenated oils. If you see that, put it right back on the shelf. And if you're craving something crunchy, try air-fried veggies or nuts instead. You'll still get that satisfying texture without the toxic load. Now, let's talk about another kind of fat that's common in American kitchens but can quietly raise your stroke risk even more. Saturated fats. These are the kind of fats that make your steak juicy, your butter rich, and your bacon irresistible. But while they might please your taste buds, they're not always so kind to your arteries. Saturated fats are mostly found in red meat, full-fat dairy like butter and cream, lard, and tropical oils like palm oil. The issue is that when consumed in excess, they raise levels of LDL cholesterol, the kind doctors call bad cholesterol. And when LDL gets too high, it starts building up inside your blood vessels, narrowing the space for blood to flow. That means less oxygen reaching your brain and a higher risk of clots and strokes. In fact, a major review published in the British Medical Journal showed that replacing just 5% of your daily calories from saturated fat with healthier fats could reduce your risk of stroke by nearly 20%. That's a simple shift with a powerful payoff. Picture this. You start your morning with a buttery croissant, cook your eggs in bacon grease, then enjoy a creamy stew for dinner. It might feel comforting, but that kind of daily pattern adds up, and your brain pays the price. Here's a small step you can take today. Swap out butter with olive oil when cooking. Choose leaner cuts of meat, and maybe try a meatless Monday now and then. Your heart and your brain will thank you. Coming up next is a kind of fat most people think is healthy, but too much of it can tip the balance and stir up serious trouble. Omega-6 fatty acids. Sounds healthy, right? After all, they're technically essential fats, and your body does need them. But here's the catch. Too much omega-6, especially without enough omega-3 to balance it out, can actually fuel inflammation. You'll find omega-6s in many vegetable oils like corn oil, soybean oil, and sunflower oil. These oils are common in processed foods and deep-fried meals. Think fast food fries, store-bought salad dressings, and even some crackers. The average American diet today has a ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 that's way out of balance, sometimes as high as 20 to 1. Ideally, it should be closer to 4 to 1, or even 2 to 1. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people with a higher omega-6 to omega-3 ratio had significantly more markers of inflammation and a higher risk of cardiovascular issues. So here's what you can do. Start replacing those refined vegetable oils with healthier options like extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. And try adding more omega-3 rich foods to your plate, like salmon, walnuts, chia seeds, or ground flax seeds. It's not about cutting omega-6 completely, but about bringing things back into balance. Now, let's turn to a kind of cholesterol that becomes especially dangerous when it gets damaged, and it's more common than you might think. LDL cholesterol, often called the bad cholesterol. But here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. It becomes especially dangerous when it gets oxidized. Oxidized LDL is like rusted metal in your bloodstream. It doesn't just float around harmlessly. It sticks to your artery walls, causes inflammation, and kicks off plaque buildup. Over time, this narrows your arteries and raises your risk of stroke and heart attack. Where does oxidized LDL come from? Mostly from eating foods fried in reused oil, like the kind you find in fast food places or street food stands where oil is used again and again until it turns dark and sticky. It's also common in old animal fats that have been sitting in your fridge or freezer for too long. A study published in the journal Atherosclerosis found that people with higher levels of oxidized LDL had a significantly greater risk of stroke and cognitive decline, even when their total cholesterol numbers looked normal. It's not just about the amount, it's about the quality of cholesterol in your body. What can you do today? Try to avoid deep-fried fast food, especially when you're unsure how fresh the oil is. Cook at home when possible and use fresh ingredients. Also, eat more antioxidant-rich foods like berries, leafy greens, and green tea. They help prevent LDL from oxidizing in the first place. Coming up next, one more fat you've probably eaten this week, and it may be silently raising your stroke risk with every bite. Hydrogenated oils, the kind used to make margarine, shortening, and many processed baked goods. These fats are engineered to give food a longer shelf life and that perfect flaky texture. But inside your body, they're doing far more harm than good. Hydrogenated oils are another big source of trans fats, even if the label says 0 grams. That's because in the US, products can claim 0 trans fat if they contain less than 0.5 grams per serving. So if you're eating multiple servings, or multiple products in one day, those trace amounts can add up quickly. These fats are especially dangerous because they don't just raise your bad cholesterol, they actually lower your good cholesterol too. That double whammy effect makes your blood vessels more prone to inflammation, clots, and ultimately, stroke. According to research in the journal Circulation, people with diets high in hydrogenated oils had a significantly increased risk of ischemic stroke. the kind caused by blocked blood flow to the brain. Think of it like this. Each time you spread margarine on your toast or bite into a packaged cookie, you may be feeding the very fats that increase your risk of a brain clot. So, what can you do? Choose natural spreads like avocado or nut butters. When buying baked goods, look for non-hydrogenated on the label. Or better yet, try making your own at home with whole ingredients. Now that we've talked about the fats to avoid, let's move into something more hopeful. The fats that can protect and nourish your brain for years to come. Omega-3 fatty acids. These are the kinds of fats your brain loves. You'll find them in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, as well as in chia seeds, flax seeds, and walnuts. Omega-3s do something remarkable. They reduce inflammation, help keep your blood flowing smoothly, and even prevent platelets from clumping together, which lowers your risk of clots that can lead to a stroke. One study published in Stroke, the Journal of the American Heart Association, followed more than 70,000 people and found that those who regularly ate omega-3 rich fish had a significantly lower risk of both ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke. What's more, omega-3s are key components of your brain's cell membranes. They help maintain flexibility, support communication between brain cells, and may even slow age-related cognitive decline. If you're not a fan of fish, don't worry. There are plenty of plant-based options too. A sprinkle of chia seeds on your oatmeal, a spoonful of ground flaxseed in your smoothie, or a handful of walnuts as an afternoon snack can all make a real difference. Start small. Maybe aim for fish twice a week, or add a tablespoon of flaxseed to your daily routine. Your brain will thank you for every bite. Now, let's move on to another kind of fat that doesn't just protect your brain. It helps clean up your cholesterol too. Monounsaturated fats. Those heart-healthy, brain-friendly oils that do more than just taste good. These fats are found in olive oil, avocados, almonds, and cashews. If you've ever enjoyed a drizzle of olive oil on a fresh salad or spread avocado on toast, you've already had a taste of these good guys. What makes monounsaturated fats so special is their ability to lower LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that clogs arteries, and increase HDL cholesterol, the good kind that helps sweep LDL away. When your blood vessels are clear and flexible, it means better blood flow to your brain, which helps reduce your risk of stroke and supports sharper thinking. In one long-term study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, people who ate diets high in monounsaturated fats had significantly lower rates of stroke and memory loss over time. These aren't just tiny benefits. They're real protection for your aging brain. You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Even small changes can help. Try switching from butter to extra virgin olive oil for cooking. Snack on a handful of almonds instead of chips. Add a few avocado slices to your sandwich or salad. Coming up next is a group of fats that often get overlooked, but they work quietly in the background to support your brain and your heart at the same time. Polyunsaturated fats. Another team of fats that quietly work behind the scenes to protect your brain. You'll find them in sunflower oil, flaxseed oil, soybean oil, and in foods like walnuts and sunflower seeds. These fats are essential, meaning your body can't make them. You have to get them from your diet. What makes them so valuable? Polyunsaturated fats help lower total cholesterol and triglycerides, which improves overall heart health. And when your heart is working better, your brain benefits too, because strong circulation keeps oxygen and nutrients flowing right where they're needed most. Research published in the journal Stroke followed adults over 60 and found that those with higher intakes of polyunsaturated fats had a lower risk of developing blood clots and narrowing of the arteries. This translates to fewer chances for stroke, better memory retention, and more mental clarity as we age, and it's easy to include these in your meals. Drizzle flaxseed oil over steamed veggies. Use sunflower oil for light sautéing. Sprinkle some sunflower seeds or walnuts over your oatmeal or yogurt. These little tweaks might seem small, but over time they add up to something big. A brain that stays strong, focused, and clear. Next, we'll take a look at a unique kind of fat that gets converted into pure energy and could help your brain stay sharp and stress-free. A special kind of fat you may not hear about often: medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs. These fats are most commonly found in pure coconut oil, and they're quite different from the long-chain fats in most other oils. Why are MCTs so unique? Because your body doesn't store them. It turns them directly into energy. That means they're quickly used by your brain and muscles without needing to go through a long digestive process. For older adults, that's a big win. As we age, our metabolism naturally slows, but MCTs offer a clean, fast-burning fuel that your brain can rely on. Studies and frontiers in aging neuroscience have shown that MCTs may help improve cognitive function in people with mild memory issues. They also help reduce oxidative stress, the kind of internal rust that damages cells and accelerates aging in the brain. Think of MCTs like a gentle spark plug for your brain, keeping things running smoothly, especially when energy levels start to dip. So, how can you get more of them? Try adding a teaspoon of virgin coconut oil to your morning coffee or smoothie. Use it for light cooking, or mix it into oatmeal for a subtle, nutty flavor. Just be sure to use it in moderation. Like all fats, balance is key. Coming up next is a lesser-known group of fats that quietly support your brain's very structure, and they're hiding in foods you might already have in your fridge. Finally, let's talk about phospholipids. These are the building blocks of your brain's cell membranes. You'll find them in egg yolks and soybeans, two foods that often get a bad rap but actually carry some pretty remarkable benefits. Phospholipids help keep your brain cells flexible, strong, and able to communicate with one another. They're like the insulation on electrical wires. Without them, signals can't travel efficiently between neurons. This becomes especially important as we age, when brain cells naturally begin to lose some of that protective coating. Research published in Nutrients found that phospholipids, especially a type called phosphatidylserine, can help improve memory, attention, and mood in older adults. In other words, they help keep your mental gears turning smoothly, even into your 70s and beyond. So instead of tossing out the yolk and eating only egg whites, consider keeping the whole egg, especially if you're choosing pasture-raised eggs, which offer even more nutrients. And if you enjoy tofu, edamame, or soy milk, those are great sources of phospholipids too. You don't need fancy supplements or exotic ingredients, just a return to some simple, nourishing foods that your brain already knows how to use. Now that we've covered the fats that can protect and energize your brain, let's wrap things up with a few final thoughts to tie it all together. Now that we've explored both the harmful and healing fats in your daily meals, I hope you're feeling a little more empowered. The choices we make in the kitchen, what we fry, what we drizzle, what we snack on, can quietly shape the health of our brain and the strength of our memory. You don't need to change everything overnight. Even one small shift, like swapping margarine for olive oil or adding a handful of walnuts to your day, can send your brain the message, "I've got your back." The truth is, it's never too late. Your brain is always adapting, always healing, always responding to care. And that care can start with something as simple as what you put on your plate. If this video made you think differently about the fats you eat, I invite you to share it with someone you love. And if you want more videos that gently guide you toward better health, subscribe to Health 365. We're on this journey together, growing, learning, and taking care of the one body we've got. You've made it this far. That already says something beautiful about how much you value your health. Keep going. Your brain deserves it.